When my cousin Victor called me, saying he needed urgent help at his farm, I thought it was something simple, a broken fence, a few animals gone missing. Nothing serious. I was wrong. That call led me straight into the worst nightmare of my life. Victor's farm sat deep in northern Ontario, far from towns, far from help. Just forest, stretching for miles. The kind of place where silence feels heavy and old stories never really die. I arrived late in the afternoon. The sun was setting behind the trees. The sky was red, and the place felt wrong. Too quiet. No birds, no insects, nothing. Just the wind dragging dust across the yard. Victor was waiting for me on the porch. He looked thinner, tired, his eyes sunken, nervous, too nervous. "I'm glad you came, Mark," he said. His grip was too tight. "This thing, it's bad." His wife Nina stood in the doorway, holding the kids. Jonathan, 12 years old, and Yasmin, 6. Jonathan looked scared. Yasmin hid behind her mother. Nina didn't smile. She just nodded. We sat down for coffee. Victor started talking. 3 weeks earlier, it began. First, the pigs. 2 of them found dead, necks broken, deep marks on their sides. "I thought it was a bear," Victor said, "but bears don't kill like that." This thing played with them. Then the sounds started. Every night, around 2 a.m., heavy footsteps outside, circling the house, something hitting the walls, and the smell, wet fur, rotten earth, something wrong. The dog, Thor, stopped going outside. He refused, just stayed inside, trembling. Then Nina spoke. I saw it. Her voice shook. She had gone to the kitchen Lachiach night, and through the window, she saw a shadow. Big. Too big. Not human. Curved, like it couldn't stand properly. And the eyes. I asked. She crossed herself. They were yellow, bright, like lanterns in the dark. Jonathan spoke next. I saw it too. It was on the chicken coop. Looking at the house, it looked like a man, but it moved on all fours. That's when I understood. They were living inside the nightmare. Victor showed me the shotgun. Dolzy, gauge loaded. He had tried staying awake, but every night, sleep took him. And every morning, there were tracks circling the house, watching, waiting. Then he told me something else. The neighbor, Mr. Otis, gone. 5 days. Only his shirt found, covered in blood. That night, we stayed inside. No lights, just a kerosene lamp. The kids were locked in the back room. We sat in silence. At around 10 p.m., Thor started growling. Low, constant. His fur stood up, eyes fixed on the door. Then, everything went silent. Not normal silence. Total silence, like the world stopped breathing. Then we heard it, dragging. Something heavy moving outside. Slow. Deliberate. Stopping. Starting again. Thor started whining, backing away, shaking, terrified. Then bang. Something hit the wall, hard. The house shook. Another hit from the other side. It was suckling, testing. Then the smell came. Victor moved toward the window. I tried to stop him, too late. A shadow passed, blocking the moonlight. We looked through the curtain and saw it huge, over 2 meters tall, twisted, wrong, half man, half something else. Its arms were too long. Its hands touched the ground. Its head stretched. Then it turned, and we saw the eyes, yellow, bright, watching us, understanding, enjoying it. It growled. Deep. The house trembled. Then it started scratching the wall. Slow, deep, like knives. Then silence. Again. Minutes passed. Nothing. Victor moved toward the door. Then the roof. Heavy steps above us. Tiles creaking. Moving. Searching. Then it stopped. Right above us. We heard it breathing. Slow. Wet. Smelling. Victor raised the shotgun. Hands shaking. The tile shifted. It's coming in, I whispered. Shoot. He fired. The ceiling exploded. And for 1 second, we saw it clearly. Standing. Fully upright. Massive. Claws raised. Teeth exposed. And then it roared. Not wolf. Not man. Something worse. It jumped, disappeared into the night. But we knew it wasn't gone. It was waiting, planning. That was only the first night. When the sun came up, we stepped outside, and what we saw made everything worse. The ground was covered in tracks. Big ones. Each print had 5 long toes. Claw marks deep in the dirt. Not a wolf. Not a man. The tracks circled the house. Over and over. It had walked around us all night, stopping at every window. The scratches on the walls were deep. The roof had a hole blown open. We followed the tracks to the forest. Jonathan found a plaid shirt in a bush, covered in dried blood, and stuck in it. Thick, reddish fur. Then we heard an engine. Mrs. Sabina jumped out of her truck, panicked. I found him. Otis is alive, but barely. We found him in a cave, curled up, covered in blood. His body was torn. Deep claw marks across his chest. But his face, that was the worst part. Empty, distant, broken, like his mind never came back. He grabbed my arm. Hard. It hunted me, he whispered. For 3 days. It wanted to watch me run. What is it, I asked? A werewolf. He looked straight into my eyes. It thinks it chooses. He squeezed my arm. It's hunting your family now. That's when everything changed. We tried to leave, but we couldn't. Victor's truck wouldn't start, battery dead. The horses were gone, scattered, and the sun was already going down. So we stayed. We blocked the doors, boarded the windows. Victor loaded the shotgun. I grabbed a machete. Otis said, "It follows a pattern. First animals, then circling." The night came fast. The full moon rose, huge, cold. Silver light flooded the yard. We waited. Then Thor stood up, growling. The attack came fast. The kitchen window exploded inward. Glass everywhere. A massive claw reached inside. Victor fired. The creature roared. It moved fast. Dove fast. It hit the front door. The wood cracked. We ran. The door exploded open. And it came in. I saw it fully. Bigger than I thought. Muscles under dark fur. Legs like a dog arm stool long. And the face, a wolf's snout. But underneath, you could still see a man. It looked accused and smiled. Then it charged. Victor fired. Otis jumped forward, swinging the machete. The creature hit him, sent him flying. I ran to the back room, locked the door. Footsteps, slow, It knew we were there. It scratched the door. The door gave way. Its head pushed through. It saw me and smiled. It lunged. I struck. The blade cut deep. Black blood spilled. It roared and hit me. Pain exploded. Everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, it was moving toward the kids. And then Yasmin started praying, a prayer in Latin. Clear, steady, fearless. The creature stopped, confused. Then Jonathan joined. Then Nina, its eyes changed. For a second, they weren't just animal, then a howl from outside. Another one, more. The creature froze, turned toward the forest. It looked back at us one last time, then it ran. Gone. We stayed there in silence until morning. And that was when we realized it wasn't alone. Morning came, but it didn't bring relief. We stepped inside again. Everything felt wrong. The house was destroyed, doors broken, windows shattered, furniture scattered, blood everywhere, powers, and something else. Black blood. Otis insisted we follow the trail, even injured, even barely able to walk. We need to understand what it is, he said. So we followed it. The black blood led into the forest, upward, toward the rocky hills. The deeper we went, the colder it felt. The trail climbed higher, through trees, through silence, until we reached a clearing, hidden, surrounded by stone. And that's where we saw it. An old fire pit, burned into the ground. So old the earth had turned black around it. Symbols, circles, stars, strange markings made with white stones. And in the center, a tree, dead, dry, and chained to it. A skeleton, not normal, twisted. The hands, too long, the skull stretched like something had tried to turn human bones into something else, and stuck to the chains. Old fur, red, dry, the same kind we found before. What is this? I whispered. Otis stepped forward slowly. My grandfather told me about this place. He looked at the skeleton. More than 100 years ago, there was a man, a hunter, a father. But one night, he didn't come back. When they found him, he had killed 2 men. He remembered nothing. It kept happening. Every full moon, they realized he wasn't human anymore. So they brought him here, chained him to this tree, drew the symbols, and let him die here, transforming, unable to escape. I looked at the skeleton again. Then that thing, I said, that attacked us. Otis shook his head. No, that was not him. That was his bloodline. He had a son, and before they chained him, he bit the boy. The words hit like a punch. The boy survived. Otis continued. He ran into the forest, grew up there, and the curse passed on. Jonathan went pale, so it's still alive. Otis looked at him. Worse. It didn't stop. It had more children, and they had more. They've been growing for generations. They're smarter now, stronger, and they choose their prey. Why us? I asked. Otis didn't answer right away. He looked at Jonathan, then toward the farm. Children, he said. They want the children. The world went quiet. They don't just kill, they pass it on. Adults die in a change, but children survive. I felt the ground disappear under my feet. It didn't want to kill them. It wanted to turn them. I looked at Jonathan. He already understood. He was the target. Then we heard it. A howl. Far in the forest, then another. And another. Not one. Many. A pack. How many? I whispered. Otis turned pale. Too many. We ran. Back to the farm. No hesitation. No talking. Just running. When we arrived, Victor was already standing. Injured, but ready. We told him everything. Otis didn't hesitate. You need to leave. No. Victor shook his head. They'll follow. No, Otis said. They hunt in territory. If you cross the river, they won't follow. Something binds them here. So we left. Took only what mattered. A neighbor helped us. We loaded the truck, and before leaving, Victor did something I didn't expect. He burned the house. Watched it turn to ash. No trace, he said. We drove, long, silent, until we crossed the river, and something changed. The air felt lighter. I looked back, and I saw them. In the distance, at the edge of the forest, standing, watching. They didn't follow, but they didn't leave. They were waiting. That was 5 years ago. Victor moved to the city. Concrete, noise, lights. Far from the forest, they built a new life. Safe, or so they believed. Jonathan grew up, 17 now. Strong, healthy, but the nightmares never stopped. Yellow eyes, claws on the door. The feeling of being watched. Yasmin still prays every night. 2 months ago, Otis called me. His voice was shaking. They found a boy, he said, 11 years old, in the forest, covered in bites, but he didn't die. He's changing. Bones, they're changing. I didn't tell Vito. I couldn't. But I remembered something. Something Otis told me. Once you're marked, it doesn't always happen right away. Sometimes it waits until the right age, the right moon. Jonathan had been scratched that night. Small cuts, nothing serious. Everyone forgot, except me. Last week, he called me, said he felt different, hungry, not normal hunger, something deeper. Said he could hear things, far away, smell things too clearly, and dream of running on all fours. Uncle, he said, I'm scared of what I'm becoming. I didn't know what to say. This morning, I got a message from Nina. Jonathan's gone. He left during the full moon. He didn't come back. My heart dropped. I ran outside, and then I saw them. Tracks. Fresh. Right in front of my building. Large. 5 long toes. Deep claw marks. They came from the bus terminal, the one that goes north. And they stopped. Right at my door. I looked up. My apartment. 10th floor. Jonathan knew where I lived. He didn't run away. He came to find me. The curse never ended, it just waited. And now, it lives in someone I love.